Sarah here with another benchmark of the week. This is Minnesota Benchmark 3114, make predictions and recognize that the amount and source of the data impacts the accuracy of predictions, with an emphasis on Math Practice 4, Model with Mathematics, and Math Practice 8. Look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. And this is a newer standard, newer benchmark. We have not had this level of benchmark in third grade in Minnesota before. The Anchor Standard 1 benchmarks come out of the recommendations of the GAZE 2, which is K-12 guidelines for assessment and instruction in statistics education. And they have a process that they recommend. Notice that this process is not one way. It moves back and forth throughout the process. So it starts with formulating statistical investigative questions. And that's students doing that. I think in the past we've had a lot of work where students are given data and asked to interpret it rather than ask their own questions and gather data. So they've asked the data, now they're going to collect and consider it. They'll analyze it and interpret the results. And at any point in time, they might have to go back to another step. This is one of my favorite memes on the internet, math meme. If you are shopping and maybe online and you're looking at ratings, would you trust a 5-star rating with only 19 people or a 4.6-star rating with 2,280 people? I know what I would do. I would choose the bigger one. Why would you choose what you choose? Let's get into an activity. I was thinking about sample size and how we make decisions. I'm going to share this Wheel of Fortune clip. Take a look at it and see what you're thinking about, especially in terms of data questions. No more?
H, M, D, O.
Hello, Vanna. This looks tough to me. So you have 10 seconds. Keep talking. Maybe the right thing will pop out. Good luck.
New baby buggy. New baby. New.
That.
Oh!
Even though I've seen this before, it still like shocks me that he got it. He's even shocked that he got it. How does this relate to data? What questions were you thinking of? Well, I was thinking about, I'm old enough to remember Wheel of Fortune before in that final round when they have to, get one all by themselves. They didn't give them that RSTLNE. And thinking about why did they start doing that? Giving them those particular letters, always the same, and then having them choose a few more. And then how do contestants choose which letters that they want to use as their extra letters? This is an activity by I got from Marilyn Burns. Maybe she got it from somebody else. But we're going to take a look at a great math book called The Doorbell Rang. We're not going to read the whole book. We're just going to look at one page right now. If you want to play along at home and pause the video, all you're going to do is, it doesn't have to look like this. Set up a chart where you can tally the letters that you see in a particular passage. Here's where you're going to pause. Take a minute, and if you want to, count all the instances of A or B or C all the way through this passage, just the first page. All right, time to unpause. Hopefully you're done with your tallies. Let's take a look. This is a visual representation we have modeled with mathematics of the count from just this section. And so you can see that we have the most common 6 letters. If I'm going to do my 6 letters in the choices are E, A, S, T, D, and D and I are tied. That's why I put the slash through there. So how would that help us in choosing letters if we have a random chunk of language that we are trying to guess based on the letters we put in there? How are we going to choose those letters? Would this be a helpful data set to help us make that choice? Would it be enough to make a good choice? Why isn't it RSTLNE? What if we took a look at the whole book? I did not do this. This is AI. But let's take a look at what the numbers were and we can compare when we look at the whole book. T and S switched, and now we've added in O and R. Interesting. What made the data change? Was it what we expected? What else could we do to get a better sample to help us on Wheel of Fortune? Here are some of the questions that I might ask. Oh, kids might notice that there are a lot of vowels in that. The most frequent 6 letters. What letters surprised them? Do you think this is a good sample? Would it help us win Wheel of Fortune? Here's another one. I'm gonna try and pronounce this right. Axolotl. An article from Nat Geo Kids on axolotl, and the number of times the letters appear in that first paragraph of this article. And you can see that we came up with E, A, N, and I, O, and T were tied. Again, a little bit different from the Doorbell Rang data set. Does the type of passage make a difference? What if we did text messages? Would that make a difference? What if we did the whole article? Ooh, interesting. It changed a little bit. We've still got those 3 vowels, and we've got that T and that R and that S. Those are pretty common. Interesting. Lots of questions we could ask about them. Again, did anything surprise you? Do you think this article was a good sample? How could you change the source, or would changing the source change your results? And how could you improve your data selection? We followed those GAZE steps, not all of them. I did most of the work, but I formulated a statistical investigative question. What letters would give us the best chance in Wheel of Fortune? We collected and considered some of the data, took a sample from language in a book, and then even took a larger sample, analyzed the data, created a visualization, and looked for patterns. I interpreted the results. I still see that A and E are really good choices for my Wheel of Fortune. Maybe I would have to show my friend the graph to justify it. Here's another meme about data sample size. Highly recommend taking a look at the GAZE 2 guidelines, reading especially outside of your grade level. Where are students coming from and where are they going to? Another resource I found really recently is the statistics teacher. It's a professional journalish type thing that has resources and lessons and information for grades K-12, maybe even beyond. I didn't look there. And then, of course, I got a shout out to the awesome Marilyn Burns, who came up with this lesson, as far as I know. There's some other resources down in the description, and really hope that you get to dive into some statistical questions with your students in order to meet the 2022 benchmarks. Thank you so much. Have a great day.